Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another edition of the AFC South Roundtable. The season is almost here. Preseason is almost well underway. And I thought, what not a better episode to conduct than having all four of these panelists rank each and every single quarterback in their own respective division. I don't believe that they got to see each other's lists. That's what I was hoping for, because some of these are different. It's going to jive a lot of debate, and I cannot wait for the episode. Let's go around the panel, see how everyone is doing. Starting off with Ruben.
Hey, man, I'm blessed, dude. It's happy to be back, dude. Shout out to you guys. It was a crazy off season, and now we're about to enter season 2 of the AFC South Roundtable. I'm happy to be back.
And so what about you, Dalton? What you got?
I'm so ready to make more enemies. Let's get this thing going.
Oh, man. Derek, what's happening with you, bro?
UCF Jaguar about to enter his villain arc. Let's go. Super excited for this upcoming season, man. Ready to get at it with these guys and ready for a fun 2024 season.
And last but not least, what do you got? Titans Rossi. What you got?
Yeah, I'm just ready to see Will Levis put up better numbers than Anthony Richardson. That's all I want.
That is where we are standing right now. I cannot wait. Folks, right before we dive into this, giant shout out right to our sponsor, and that just so happens to be the best sports book on the face of the planet. That is BetUS. It is the place to go, folks, for all of your point spreads, for all of your over-unders, your standard money lines, all the way down to player props, sports galore. And get this, BetUS is matching 125% of your first 3 deposits all the way up to $2,000 free money. So if you know what you're doing and if you feel confident about your team, then you know exactly what to do. I just went on ahead and I took a look at some of the spreads that they have right here. They have each and every single team's final standing position. For example, we saw all of the AFC East here, the AFC North, and then look at that, the Houston Texans. For all of you Houston Texans haters, want to say that they finished in 4th place, plus 1,200 odds. Pretty insane. For all of you that still believe in the Indianapolis Colts, then you could have them right at first place at plus 325. Same thing with the Titans, folks. So many different really cool lines. Say, for example, that you're really a degenerate, then you can even put money down on some of the preseason games coming on up this week. So let us know. Definitely check out BetUS. Link is in description. So, gentlemen, without wasting much more time, we did ask you to put together your top 4 quarterbacks in the AFC South. And we are going to start off with our good friend, Derek's. Ooh. This is Derek's rankings of the AFC South. Derek, walk us through your reasoning. Talk to me.
Well, I mean, it's stupid not to put CJ Stroud at number 1. Clearly, after the season that he had coming in with, I don't know what kind of expectations there were, but he met them and he exceeded them. And he was one of the big driving forces behind the Houston Texans even having a chance to make it into the playoffs and having the type of one of the better seasons that Houston has had in quite some time, and giving Houston Texans fans like Ruben himself the optimism that they have found their guy for the foreseeable future. Number 2, obviously Trevor Lawrence. I mean, he's got the experience over everyone here in this group. But while I will argue at times is not elite and sometimes not even really good, he still is one of the only guys remaining on the list that there's still not question marks about. Clearly, when he's not on the field, the Jaguars are just not that great. And when he is on the field, at least they got a chance to win the game every once in a while. So can't really say too much more about it. Trevor Lawrence does what he has to do. I'll put Anthony Richardson over Will Levis. I know that Will Levis played quite a bit more games last year than Anthony Richardson did, but clearly the ceiling of Anthony Richardson at this point, if you ask most realistic people, will tell you that Anthony Richardson has a much higher ceiling than Will Levis does. So I will put Anthony Richardson over here, and especially since I have much more optimism that he will finish out this season than what he did last year. Will Levis, I mean, again, I do believe that he's going to improve this next year, but I still think he's got a little ways to go. So I'll leave him at 4.
Now, listen, I know a lot of you are going to give your takes based off of your lists, but before we move on, is anybody upset with any of these placements before I bring up the next list? 0. Everybody is
like, no.
Oh man, was really hoping that Rossi would have been like, "You are out of your mind."
I thought
Will
Jack
Levis
was
at
gonna
the
give
bottom.
I've always thought Derek is out of his mind. So I mean, that's just a given, you know. So
Well, I'll tell you what, because let's make this interesting right here. We have Dalton, UCF.
Boom.
Of course. Okay. All right.
Take this,
Well,
fellas. Take
All right,
this,
Dalton,
fellas.
walk us through your reasoning,
right.
man. This should be good. I like it. Go
Okay,
ahead.
since we're on the whole Anthony Richardson versus Will Levis situation, I mean, look, there is no way I can currently put Anthony Richardson at number 3 based off of last year. Guys, Anthony Richardson threw like 3 passing touchdowns last year. Okay, I think he only played like
and had
8
4
quarters
rushing
last year.
touchdowns.
Oh, so now I got to go into the running back stats. Okay,
Are touchdowns not touchdowns? I'm sorry, I forgot. Let's just take away Lamar Jackson's touchdowns. Why don't?
yeah, but Lamar Jackson's flinging the ball all over the place.
Okay, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to him.
He played more than 10 quarters last year.
Hey, this
I'm
is my
sorry.
list. This is my list, okay?
All
And I can rank these guys how I want to rank them.
You wanted to come at me
Okay.
with Anthony Richardson. I'm coming at you.
I
with-
have Will Levis at number 3 because Will Levis actually played some football last year. Will Levis actually completed games last year. Will Levis did not have a man in Gardner Minshew, a Pro Bowl quarterback that kept having to bail him out of games and finish games for him, okay? So with this list, yeah, Anthony Richardson has an incredible ceiling, okay? There's no doubt about that, okay? Got a big body, a big arm. You know, he can really make all the different throws, but how can I put a guy that has barely played in the NFL, you know, up above Will Levis? So
One
with that
word.
said,
Potential.
I have Will Levis at number 3. I mean, 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. It's not like he went out there and stunk up the joint. It's not like I'm putting a guy with 1 touchdown and 7 interceptions above Anthony Richardson. I'm just saying how things are right now. If we're currently power ranking the quarterbacks, I mean, Will Levis has to go above him. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. So next up is the big debate. Okay. Because of course, you know, we can have the Colts and Titans battling for 3rd place this year. But, you know, now here comes the real thing. Okay. Trevor Lawrence versus CJ Stroud. Look, CJ Stroud, no doubt, had an incredible year last year. I'm not sitting here debating that. Of course, I have a lot of friends that are Houston Texans fans that I made over the course of last season. Shout out to all you guys. But let's not forget, the last time Trevor Lawrence was actually healthy and played a complete game, Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars went into Houston and beat CJ Stroud and the Texans when the Texans had all the hype. Everybody was all over the Texans. Everybody was ready to anoint the Texans, but the Jaguars kind of took that away from him. And let's not forget, CJ Stroud had the ball last that game and took 2 sacks from a boy, Josh Hines-Allen. So with that said, it took the Jaguars to go 1-5 for CJ Stroud and the Texans to actually be able to take AFC South from the Jaguars. And look, no excuses here. They earned it. But if I'm telling you which quarterback I'm going to take Trevor Lawrence or the CJ Stroud this year. And guess what? It's going to be, I can't wait for the season because talk is cheap in the NFL, okay? Pretty soon we're going to be able to go out there and actually put these rankings to the test. And I'm really, really excited for some awesome quarterback matchups this year.
Look at that. I see Ruben is absolutely fuming up there. So I think this is a wonderful segue into Ruben's list. Ruben.
I just want to know what Dalton is growing down there in Florida, man, because I want some of that here. You know, I'll just go ahead and answer that debate. There was one quarterback that elevated his team last year, and that was CJ Stroud. What we learned from Trevor Lawrence is that he has the balls to go out there and play hurt, but we also learned that he cannot do it himself. He's not one of those ones. He's not that generational label that we've been hearing. No. You talk about CJ Stroud with generational, right? We talk about a stat where he was compared to Joe Montana and Tom Brady, and it's only year 1. That's why CJ Stroud is my QB number 1 in the AFC South, because this was a young man who took his team to 10 wins, a division championship, and won a home playoff game. And it was insane what he went through. He led the league in passing yards per game, lost multiple weapons, but he got it done. Number 2, it is Trevor Lawrence. I'm sorry. He couldn't do it. He had an opportunity, but injuries caught up to him. However, still a good quarterback. I'm gonna give him his respect. Like I said at the roundtable, I think it was a good idea that they gave it to Trevor Lawrence, but he's not better than CJ Stroud. And the thing now with Trevor Lawrence, he has to handle the pressure of 3 young guys coming after him for that top quarterback spot in the AFC South. Can he do it? Number 3 is, let me give you number 4. Number 4 is Mr. 8 quarters, Anthony Richardson. Because I've been hearing about these 8 quarters for the past year, and I'm going to continue to hear about them until we get all the way up to week 1. Let's not forget the Houston Texans walked into Indy and took it out. But guys, we are putting so much faith into Anthony Richardson carrying this Indianapolis Colts team, and we didn't get to see you for more than 3 games. I mean, what are we talking about here? It's one thing if we saw it in week 15, 16, 17, but we saw it all the way back in week 1 and 2. We forgot who the hell Anthony Richardson is. That's why he's my number 4 quarterback. With Will Levis, can Mayo Boy handle the pressure of a new coach, a new offensive scheme? He just lost D-Hop. He just lost his right guard to retirement. Can he handle that? He's my quarterback number 3 because, like Dalton mentioned, he actually played some football. And I don't know why Derek is mad, that we don't believe in a quarterback that played 8 quarters all the way back in week 1 and 2. Were teams set by then? I was 0-2 in weeks 1 and 2. I ended up in the playoffs. I ended up blowing out the Browns. So, 8 quarters, we're getting a little delusional here, if we're being quite honest with you. If Anthony Richardson played as much games as Will Levis, then I can understand, the propaganda. But Jesus, dude, 8 quarters and we're ready to think we can compete for number 2, dude. You're going to be at the bottom, bro.
8 quarters is only a couple dollars, Derek. Okay, remember that.
I thought that Ruben might have been on my side with this one, but obviously I was wrong to assume such things. It's okay. It's okay.
Man, you know what? Let's move on to Titan Rossi, because I have a feeling this is going to be a pretty objective list. Let me see what we got here.
It's going to be the same list. It's going to be the exact same list. I knew it was.
Yeah, if you look at based on what you said, Ruben was perfect. And Derek wants to act like Titans fans are the delusional ones.
Yes, you are.
It's like, come on, man. The guy barely played. It's not a fact of saying, oh, Anthony Richardson, he just sucks. He doesn't have it. I'm not saying that. He didn't play much. If you just base it off 2 rookie quarterbacks, and look, I do believe Will Levis has a very high ceiling. I think Will Levis and Anthony Richardson have similar ceilings. I think they're both boom or bust players. I think they're both either going to be really good or they're going to be really bad. That's how I look at Anthony Richardson and Will Levis. Both SEC quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson in college had some terrible games, and so did Will Levis. They're very similar as far as stats, kind of hit and miss in college. I just don't get the big, and I get he's fast. Okay. He runs the 4.4 40, maybe under a 4.4. I can't remember, in the combine or whatever. The dude is blazing fast. He's got a load of talent, but I think Will Levis does too. And I just think with the offense that we've put in place, now they got some issues on the right side of the offensive line. If they could bring somebody in, that would be key. But, you got Hop, who's probably going to be back at the beginning of the season. You got Ridley, and you got a lot of playmakers. Chigaquanko, Spears, Pollard. They brought in some playmakers for Levis. And I think, I think if this is his year to really show that he can lead this team, it's got to be this year. If not, hit the road, man.
Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings you your top 5 4 quarterbacks in the AFC South. These are the predictions for the panelists. I want to remind everybody that this show has a live stream each and every single Tuesday at 7 p.m. EST. If you are just discovering us based off of this pre-recorded video, highly recommend that you subscribe and you also turn on bell notifications so you never miss an episode. We have so much planned for this channel, and the debates will never die down. I can assure you that. Ruben, any last words to the audience before we send them off?
CJ Stroud's the best AFC quarterback. He might be the best quarterback in the NFL when it's all said and done. Can't wait to see you guys next week, man. Loved y'all. Missed y'all.
What you got, Dalton?
Yeah, I'm just gonna use my shout to just ask Derek. Derek, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good.
Okay. I just, I'll change my rankings if you want me to. Okay. I didn't
Like my aura is just making them want to change their answers.
look right now. Anthony Richardson may be number 4 on my list, but he's number 1 in my heart. Okay, so I'll give him that. So go ahead. We'll move on to the next host.
Bro, we still call him AR-15 because we haven't seen him in 5.
No, it's not AR-15. It's AR-5 nowadays.
He didn't want to be associated with gun violence.
Yeah, I think that's probably why they asked him to get rid of the number.
What you got, Derek? How you doing?
I just can't wait for at the end of the season when Anthony Richardson is going to be ranked number 2. It's okay. It's all right. We'll get there at another point.
Oh, man. What about you, Titans Rossi?
I just still don't understand why they got rid of a Pro Bowl quarterback. But hey, that's neither here nor there. I'm happy
thinking it was UCF that was going to be the first one to use that.
Hey, well, luckily Tannehill's still out there for him, man. Tannehill might want to do his little revenge tour.
That is true.
Folks, thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of the AFC South Roundtable. Certainly go check out BetUS, best sports book in the face of the planet, matching 125% of your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. And until next time, we'll see you.